very little charge.
Again.
Yeah, again, I'm telling you, man, every time we start these streams, never have any charge in my phone. So if I stop looking at the chat halfway through, you know why. And that being said, should be live now. So, hello everybody, and welcome to Mexico, the Autodromo de Hermanos Rodriguez here in Mexico City. I'm Tucson Otoe, and I'm joined for the 12th time this season. It's Natty G. Hello, Natty.
Hello guys, technically for the 11th time I wasn't here in Italy, but we're back here for Mexico, and tonight is definitely going to be a really interesting and fun race. Two drivers in particular. Championship can be won here tonight, but who will it be? We'll find out at the end of the 36 lap race.
Well, one thing we know for sure is that it is a two-man race. Absolute 11 versus Cash Stengel for the honours in the Premier Series, currently separated by about 16 points at the head of the Drivers' Championship. Natty, do you want to take us through the title permutations for today as Cash Stengel begins an outlap, or ends an outlap even?
So yeah, like you say, the two horses left in this race, Cash Stengel and Absolute 11. To start with, if Absolute finishes the race, Cash Stengel must also finish the race, and then he will win the championship. However, if Absolute 11 finishes in third place or above, the championship will just automatically go to the next round. Absolute finishes in fourth, fifth or sixth, Cash Stengel must win the race in order to win the championship, and it goes down from there. If Absolute finishes in seventh, Cash Stengel must finish in second. 8th, Cash Stengel must finish in third. 9th, Cash Stengel also needs to finish in third, and if Absolute 11 finishes in 10th, then Cash Stengel must finish in fourth. So it's kind of in Cash Stengel's favour going into the final race. Just needs to score Absolute 11 by 11 points in order to win the championship here tonight in Mexico.
And after that disastrous race last time out in USA for Absolute 11, the previous championship leader. For those of you who didn't watch the race last week, he had a puncture going into the final few laps of the race, which severely hampered the results that he got from there. I think only 1 point coming across the line in 10th. That gave Cass the lead that he has at the top of the championship. Just goes to show what tiny margins and what impact big errors can have on the championship then. So Cash Stengel coming around the final couple of corners now to end this first qualifying lap attempt. What's going to be for the Dutchman goes on to the second row of the grid, 1 minute 14.5. And we're going to have a lot of time to come out of that though. I expect to see times in the mid to high 1 minute 13s. That being said, this championship rival Absolute 11 going into 5th place, 1 minute 15.2, also on the soft tyre. So that's very interesting to see that.
Yeah, looks like all drivers currently on the soft tyres. Shankster aborted his lap from the mediums. He's now gone out on a set of soft tyres, but with mentioning Absolute 11 and Cash Stengel in the fight for the drivers, but their teammates Bon Evil and F1 Lover also in the fight for constructors. If Alfa Romeo outscore AlphaTauri by 13 points, then it will be Alfa Romeo crown the Premier Series Constructors Champions, and taking AlphaTauri's double Constructors Championship away from their streak at the minute.
Interesting thing about the Premier Series, a Drivers' Championship has never been won here. Cass could be the first to do it today around this. I like this track actually, in the centre of Mexico City. You wouldn't think it because all of the greenery and stuff, but it's actually in the middle of the city here. This track goes through a baseball stadium as well, which is where we get the famed stadium section from. Unfortunately, we don't have any Mexican drivers in this league. I'm sure the fans will be going crazy through that section otherwise. But F1 Lover at the moment, currently outpacing his teammate up there in third, making it an all Alfa Romeo affair on the second row of the grid at the moment. Still less than a tenth separates that top three though, so really, really close here this evening.
Yeah, it's so close for the top three. We've still got 8.5 minutes to go. Absolute 11 currently down in 7th place, so he needs to hopefully try and improve his quality position to give himself a good chance in the race to keep the championship fight alive. He's coming out on track now for an outlap. But yeah, like you say, the top runners all really close together. It should definitely make for an interesting race.
And I'm on board here with Nat, that has finished on the podium in the last 4 races here in the Premier Series. He's going to try and make it 5 for 5 today. Let's ride on board with him for a lap around the Autodromo de Hermanos Rodriguez. So down the main straight, heading in towards turn 1, braking just before for the 100 meter ball, down into third gear for the Finnish driver. Now over the bumper, you can cut a little bit of that curve. Nakla chooses not to, doesn't want to risk the lap at this early stage in qualifying. Now down the middle straight towards turns 4 and 5, again a very tricky technical section, very slow. Take the turn 4 in second gear, likewise for turn 5. Shift up early on the apex, we're going to the double apex turns of 6 and now 7 on the throttle once again and into what is, in my opinion, the best part of this track. Sling the car in 5th gear. Look at how the front picks up on the act. Now keep the foot pinned to the floor for the next few corners. Let the mechanical grip do its work, and then on the DRS once again it's headed now towards the stadium section, a converted baseball stadium which they tarmacked over, I think, for a kart a few years ago as well. Braking just as we see the digital flag on the right hand side. Now short shifting up through the gears, coming out of the section and into the final 2 corners through this muted version of the Peraltada, the famous final corner here in Mexico. To the line for Nakla, it's P7 on a 1 minute 15.1, and that was a great effort there from the Finn.
Yeah, good job from Nakla as well. And riding aboard with Thunder, he was slightly improving on his time. Unfortunately, made a mistake in the famous stadium section and decided to abort that lap and come into the pits. But yeah, still really close up top. It could be anyone's race at this point.
Yes, certainly. Looking at Tiger Assassin there, who's also invalidated his most recent lap. So still Bonnie on provisional pole, then Thunder in second, F1 of a third, Cash Daniel fourth, and Frozer currently finds himself in the top 5, though he's out on a lap again. He's very wide at the final corner and aborts the lap, comes back into the pit lane. Will Tiger follow him in? Indeed he does, in the McLaren Renault. Yeah, I think that's a car getting out of the way. I think it's Spaniel getting out of the way of another car. Oh no, sorry, overtaking the Williams of Guillotine there. The Spaniel, less than a tenth up on his fastest lap time through the first sector so far. To be honest, actually, I'm surprised you haven't seen any faster times at the moment here from the Premier Series. Oh, yeah. Spaniel very wide, sorry, at turn 7.
Sorry, I think a lot of drivers have been invalidating a fair few of them laps. When scrolling through the timing sheets here, seeing a load of red maps on the bottom right. So I think we've got a few invalid laps at the moment. Quite a few people in the pits. I'm sure they're going to wait for the final 2-3 minutes of quali where the track's at its fastest. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see some faster times towards the end of the session.
And the Shanks with a very striking pink helmet there, standing out in the Mercedes W11, starts his latest flying lap attempt. When we talk a bit about Shanks this season, Natty, the word that comes to mind for me is bad luck. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I used the phrase, could it get any worse in the Assetto Corsa race? And it turned out it did get worse.
It got increasing.
It got quite bad.
It got quite dramatically worse.
I think what I've done in an hour and a half is what Shanks has done over the past 11 races. You ask yourself, could it get any worse? And somehow life finds a way to make it even worse. But
well, of course, picked up that win in Singapore, which in a way was a sort of a sweet justice or redemption for Season 1, where he had a crash around that track whilst fighting for the victory. But a driver definitely who could have been challenging for the championship at this stage if some strategy calls and races had gone his way. Think of all the races at the beginning of the season. Shankston ran the first 5 races at some point in the podium, but didn't finish on the podium at all in any of them. So he now rounds the final corner. Looks like a very good lap from the German. It's a 1 minute 13.7. Takes provisional pole by almost 6/10 of a second back to Bon Evil, who currently finds herself now demoted to P2.
It's a really good lap from Shankster there. What's that, 6/10 clear of Bon Evil, and actually won this race in Season 1 of the Premier Series. I believe you came second in that one as well.
Which one was that, sorry?
Season 1 of the Premier Series.
Oh, at this track?
Yes,
we don't talk about what happened at this track.
I can't remember exactly what happened to you.
We don't talk about it. It doesn't need to be discussed. If you want to see, go watch the race. That's all I'm going to say.
But looking at it from Shanks' point of view, he seems to have some good pace around this track like he did at Singapore.
Yeah, certainly. Let's see if he can convert it. We've actually had about 6 different winners this season, which is way more than either the last couple seasons, so it's been really competitive here as well in the Premier Series. We've had some great races, and as the season winds to a close, I think every driver can be happy with their performance. I thought we were going to be having one of the Heblers in to replace a McLaren of Ted, but I don't think someone can just let me know if it's still doing that or not. So, driver's still in the pit lane. Bonnie hasn't come out for another... Oh, no, he's going out now even. Thunder saying that he might stay in the pits. He shouldn't. F1 Lover on an out lap. Cash Stengel still in the pits as well. What driver's still just waiting, running out the clock here a little bit, it seems like. Absolute 11 on an out lap. Taking us some liberties with the track limits, as everybody does on their outlap.
And a little fun fact as well, going into this Grand Prix, we've actually had the same amount of race winners this season as we did last season in the Premier Series. So if someone like F1 Lover or Bon Evil were to win this race, it'd be the most wins by different drivers in a Premier Series season. So that's another record that could be broken here tonight.
As Shanks retires from the session in the pit lane. Good stuff from him. One of the Headlers, not sure if it's Headlerino or it's a Headler, if you can hear me, leave the session and Natty will send you another invite back. Natty, if you send him an invite, make sure to press ready up, not spectate, when you try to join in. Because you will need to be quick though, I think. Ah, there we go. Oh, he heard me. Okay, that's good. Let's check it wasn't being an absolute tool there. GSI retiring from the session as well. He will start no better than last. Bon Evil winds up for her final attempt at pole position here in Mexico. DRS flies open down the main straight. I think the 3rd longest main straight in F1. I'm going to see a debate about track straights. Go watch the Freshman League race from yesterday. Made some contributions in there. Locks up on the front right into turn 1. Takes a lot more curve than some of her rivals at turn 2 and 3. You saw that unsettled the rear of the car there on exit now. That will compromise her run down this middle straight towards turn 4. Still a 10th up on her time. Another lock up though into turn 5, but it hasn't really affected her line through 6 and now into 7. Pick up the 2nd apex, not the 1st. Again, a lock up looking really, really uncomfortable on that front tyre. There is the Englishwoman at the moment, then slings it in to the S's in 6th gear now with the Alpha Tauri. Ooh. Keeps it flat to the floor as well. Oh, she's... Sorry.
So Ben Roberts have gone out on mediums.
That's very interesting, but Natty's not going to get to the line in time. Yep, the session has just finished. But Bon Evil, they're going wide and having her lap time invalid. Thunder has also invalidated his lap time. Cass is still on a lap, 2 tenths up through the 1st sector. Could be a much improved lap here for one of the championship contenders. Could seal it today. His teammate down in 11th at the moment and not improving on his time.
I was going to say, the other championship contester is down in 11th place, absolute 11, on a 15.2. I just like to see a sector split as he finishes the middle sector. And he's up in his time by just over 3.5 tenths.
But that's not going to be enough here, really, Natty, is it? Because 3 tenths up on his lap time would put him well behind. Oh, and he's invalidated. Absolute 11 will start outside the top 10. Cash Stengel still 2 tenths up on his time now through the final corner. Where can the Dutchman go? It's P2. Cass goes to P2. Absolute 11 will start 11th at best. There's anyone else behind us on a lap. Natla has invalidated. Wolfie is in the pit lane. Thunder has invalidated. There's a Ferrari. And that's Ben Roberts, who has already finished. So I believe that's qualifying over. An absolute 11, absolute shocker down there in 11th position. But crucially here, will be the car with the first with free choice of tyre, the first car with free choice of tyre, as the header just manages to get in there at the end. So good stuff from him. Let's have a look in the chat then.
And I'm sure this is going to put absolute 11 in 2 states of mind here. Does he play it safe and do what I would say the more comfortable 2-stop, or does he try and risk the 1-stop, medium to hard? We both tried it last season in the Super League. It worked out better for you than it did for myself, but will he risk it? We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, let's take you through the grid then. Shankster takes another pole position, but this time by 5/10 of a second. He's got pace round here. Cash Stengel in second, Bonivel third, Thunder fourth, F1 Lover in fifth, Frozer in sixth, Ben Roberts seventh, Tiger, good qualifying from him in eighth, Nackler in ninth, and Guillotine rounds out the top 10. Absolute 11. Absolutely outside the points at the moment, in 11th place, JMB Surreal in 12th, Wolfie 13th, Spanel 14th, GSY Bates 15th, and De Hebler not managing to set a time in that qualifying session. He will start from the back of the grid. Game will save, drivers will load. We'll go for 36 laps of racing here in Mexico. Some very vibrant helmets. It's one of my more favourite tracks, if that's the proper English. I severely doubt it. But yeah, it's overcast. That could be interesting.
I hate to break all the spectators' bubbles seeing the overcast, but I have checked, and unfortunately there will be no rain tonight.
Could have an is that Glock going slowly moment. So, Natty, you think it's a 2-stop? I think a 1-stop is definitely possible from the medium tyre. Well, I guess we'll just have to see who comes out on top in the game of what would you do?
Yeah, I mean, in the Premier Series I tried the 1-stop medium to hard, and in terms of tyre wear it's definitely doable, but I think the tyre drop-off is quite significant around this track. I think the 2-stop is quick, but you've got to have pace to make the 1-stop work. So Absolute 11 might play it safe with the 2-stop. Cash Stengel, he's in a good position. His championship rival's down in 11th place. He might go for a soft, medium, or soft, medium, soft. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, Absolute 11. It's going to be interesting to see what tyre he decides to start the race on. Does he go long and hards or go quick and aggressive on softs?
Well, yes, certainly. If there was a day to take risks, if you're Absolute, it is today. The chance for Cash Stengel to decide the championship could be decided on strategy. You see the predicted pit stop strategy coming up there, 2-stop for all of your guys on the soft tyre. Absolute 11, Natty. He's gone to the mediums. That could be a potential 1-stop straight off the start. Let's just say hello to some people in the chat for the race. Hello to Natty, hello Aston, Rick Holt as well. Good luck for tomorrow, those two. Velocity, hello to you. To Hedler, good luck in your first Premier Series race. Cash Stengel could win the championship today, so hello to him. Natty, you're in the chat for some reason, but I said hello to you before. Fellow O'Haris, hello from the Academy. Rick Holt again. Piero, watching another race, hello to you. Hello No Puntrino, that is Thunder. I think that's everybody. Not sure if there's any questions. Oh, hello to Mason as well. And yeah, track limits as well, that's a good point, Piero. Very, very tough round here. Let's Billy Misu as well. Indeed, let's roll for the 12th time here in the Premier Series. How many points does Cash Stengel need to... Natty, is it 9 or 6?
Sorry, what was that?
How many points does Cash Stengel need to outscore Absolute?
11, I think.
11. Well, at the moment it's 18 with Cass up there in first and Absolute down there in 11th. If it was to finish like this, Cass would be your championship winner today. 50% of the Premier Series titles have been decided in the last race. I'm sure Cass would be wanting to make it 2 out of 3 to be decided in the race before, as he will line up onto the grid now. Nackler and Guillotine getting themselves disqualified. What naughty boys. Off the formation lap. Shankster will go through them and take his pole position slot. 36 laps of mystery. It all comes down to this for Cass and for Absolute. The two drivers left in the championship fight for the Premier Series victory in Season 3. We're going to go to 5 red lights, 36 laps between the potential championship for Cash Stengel. Lights out and away we go, underlay, and we're going down into turn 1. Look at the start that Cass has got, pulling alongside Shankster already. The Mercedes ducks back into the slipstream in the run down to turn 1. We'll pull out to the right hand side now, going into the corner, going 3 wide. Cass has gone very defensive, body now down the inside as well. Elhonor making his way up into 4th place. That was the dream start from Cash Stengel, and you saw there as well, Absolute Evan moving up a lot of positions already. He's into 6th off the start. Look at Cass weaving to break the slipstream. extreme, but Bonnie's going to try and dive it round the outside into turn 4. He's made the move round the outside. Can she get the move for the inside? Yes, she can. Contact between the top two. They're going to go wheel to wheel into 6 and 7. Bonnie takes the lead here on lap 1, and now Shanster challenging the Alfa Romeo into the air. Is there going to be contact here between the two? Shanster pushes Cass off the track, and Cass has to concede the position. Be careful not to collect his teammate there in the battle for 4th. But what a roller coaster ride for Cass, and up to the lead, and now finds himself back down to 3rd and going wheel to wheel with his teammate. Going into the stadium section, the two Alfa Romeos don't collide here, boys. They're still going wheel to wheel. F1 on the inside, not afraid to make a move on his potential champion teammate on the inside at the stadium. And what an overtake that was from F1. He goes up into 3rd place.
Yeah, dream start from Absolute 11 as well, all the way up into 6th place after starting in 11th on those medium tyres. The two Alfa Romeos, doesn't seem like they're working together. They want as many points as they can together. But here comes Frozer on Thunder, Absolute 11, already up into the podium positions, but you've got the Mercedes down the inside of the AlphaTauri. Frozen Absolute going with the two Alfa Romeos as well, going rooted in towards turns 1, 2 and 3, and Absolute 11 up into 5th place already.
What a start from Absolute 11. He means business today. Remember, if he gets on the podium, the championship goes to the next race. Now on the inside of Frozer, nearly made a move there into turn 4, had to think about it at the last moment, manages to keep his front wing out of the rear of the Mercedes, but F1 Lover has already lost 2.1 seconds now to Shanksy. He's gone wide at turn 9 there as well. That could give Cass a chance down the main straight. I don't know about you, Nat, but I was expecting the two Alfa Romeos to be a bit more hospitable to each other at this early stage in the race.
Yeah, they both got a Constructors' Championship to win here. They need to outscore AlphaTauri by 13 points, and it seems like they're both fighting for individual positions on the track, but we're starting to see a few gaps open up for Absolute 11, just dropping a little bit off the back of Frozer. I think that's just the interval gaps not resetting themselves, but they will do once they cross the line. But Ben Roberts is looking a bit racy in the back of Thunder as well. Just going to keep an eye on the Ferrari as well, but a lot of drivers using their ERS early in this race.
Yeah, certainly. I'm going to go back up to the front here, though, because Shanks are making a look on Bonnie, but Cass having a look at his teammate, both Alfa Romeos there. I just wanted to pick up on, really struggling with that front end in the middle sector. There could be a chance of opportunity for Absolute 11, who has since dropped off the back of Frozen, now coming under pressure from Thunder in the sister Red Bull team. Doesn't go for a move at this point in time, but Shankster now just able to hang on to the back of Bonnie, able to deal with that dirty air in the Mercedes through the middle sector, and he's definitely close enough in to try and have a move into turn 1. With DRS enabled, we are on lap 3. That flap in the rear wing will open when Shankster is within 1 second of the car in front, as Spanel picks up a very all too easily picked up 3-second time penalty somewhere there in the middle sector. But look at this battle for the lead right now. Bonnie versus Shankster. Mercedes versus AlphaTauri, and now round the final corner, Shankster's got so much more confidence than the AlphaTauri, and through the final corner, Shankster will have DRS down this main straight, will pull out to the inside line. Everyone does the fastest lap of the race. Shankster then, going to be an easy move for the German. DRS open, will be able to slot back in front of the AlphaTauri before we even get to turn 1, and gets the move done. He leads this race.
Good move from Shankster. It's kind of what he needs to regain his confidence for the final race of the season after having a long season of bad luck, as the two Alfa Romeos continue to go at it. Here comes Castello and F1 Lover with the DRS. Frozer just tucking in behind these two as well, and Castello gets the move down up into the podium position. Thunder getting past Absolute 11 as well, down the inside into his turn 4. The Red Bull getting ahead of the AlphaTauri. He's starting to go downhill a little bit now for Absolute 11 in those mediums.
And yes, does not have the pace in this opening stint to really challenge those soft tyre runners at the moment. That is to be expected, really. Those mediums will come into their own as we tend to hit about lap 7 or lap 8. That's when the crossover period really starts to begin between the two tyres. Bonnie looks a lot less comfortable in the dirty air of Shankster through the middle sector. She is now dropped to 8 tenths behind. The Mercedes will still have that DRS advantage, though, down the main straight. Nackler and Spanel going wheel to wheel into the stadium section. Spanel now in the Renault on the inside, but Nackler keeps the position around the outside, but it's been a dreadful start for him here, Nat, down into 13th position.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Macula at the start. There was no damage. I didn't see any damage. But here comes Frozen now on F1 level. Might potentially go 3 wide into turn 4 here. These guys running really close together. The battle for the final spot on the podium as F1 lovers hit the back. Frozen's hit the back of F1 lover, and there's damage to the front left of that Mercedes.
And F1 Lover with the DRS open, going to make a move on his teammate here into turn 4, down the middle straight on the outside line. No team orders at Alfa Romeo. F1 Lover gets the outside, that's the inside for the next corner. Cass is still there though on the outside. Great stuff from the two Alfa Romeos. Don't hit each other here, boys. Now going into the S's on lap 5 of 36. There is so much at stake here for Cass. Does he want to be fighting his teammate like this when he keeps the position? And what's a battle we're seeing here?
Amazing. These two Alfa Romeos are risking a distant track position on third place in the early stages of this race.
Frozen nearly took them both out there coming into the stadium section, and now Thunder has close onto the back of these two. Ben Roberts and Absolute 11 close in tow as well.
And after Kimi Raikkonen's style start, Absolute 11 seems to be falling down the grid a little bit on those medium tyres, just not having the pace as the soft runners. But we've got some weaving going down the start finish straight to break the slipstream. But these guys battling, they're already 5 seconds behind Bonnie Evil. We're only on lap 6.
Yeah, exactly. And Shankster really bolting away at the front, 1.3 seconds now back to Bonnie Evil, so he was safe from that DRS threat. But I'm going to echo those words that you said in the chat there, Piero. If these two crash, there will be some words exchanged in the chat, I think, afterwards. That is absolutely not what they needed in their constructor's bid. But yeah, Cass, you would think that at this late stage in the season, F1 Lover should have been a bit more accommodating to his teammate, realised what Cass is trying to do here today, and let him go through and keep tabs on Bonnie and Shankster, because those two are, as you said, Natty, 5 seconds up the road now.
Yeah, and I think Brody's going to start to drop off from those two as well, with that wing damage he picked up a few laps ago. He's got the Red Ball of Thunder all over the back of him, breaks a little bit too late, and it's going to give Ben Roberts the chance to try and go around the outside into the stadium section, but there's just not enough room. He ain't close enough. Get the move down up into 6th place, but I'm sure it'll continue down towards turn 1.
Not really a move that was ever on for the Brit against the Irishman, but a move that is on here. F1 Lover in the slipstream of his teammate once again, now down the main straight. Cass has gone defensive. Where will F1 Lover go? He places his car on the outside line, will try and sweep round, play the angles right in turn 1. Absolutely outrageous stuff from F1 Lover. He swoops around the outside of his teammate at turn 1, but now it's not over because Cass will be trying to come back at his teammate down this middle straight into turn 4. Gonna look to the inside line. Cass on his teammate once again on the inside. He's gonna force his teammate wide. They're still going at it here. F1 Lover keeps the position. They make contact. They make contact. They're both off. Frozen's gone through there, but luckily no terminal damage done to either car. But that was heart in the mouth stuff there between the two Alfa Romeos. They will not want a repeat of that down the straight next time.
Crazy racing. I was watching that on stream because I was watching the battle for first 6th place. Absolute 11 Thunder and Ben Roberts going 3 wide in towards turn 4. Absolute 11's come out on top and is under pressure from Thunder now. He goes down the inside of the Alpha Tauri. There's just about no contact there, but those two are going 3 wide into turn 4. Kept it clean. A tiny bit of rule banging, but we're seeing some spicy racing in the early phase of this race. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot.
Very, very spicy. It's Nando's hot, the black sauce. But now coming down the main straight, F1 Lover with the DRS. I think he'll be a bit less polite to Frozen into turn 1 this time. When it looks to the inside line as he going into the corner, Frozen's still carrying that wing damage. Ben Robertson making a move on Thunder in the background into turn 1 on the inside line. Gets the move done. That's put Guillotine now onto the back of the Red Bull as well. His fellow Irishman, or half fellow Irishman. Thunder's got DRS and the inside line. Absolute Lemon's trying to make a move as well. F1 Lover is making a move on F1 Frozen. That's going to turn to the outside to the next corner. Will the Ghanaian try and dive it down the inside? No, he doesn't here. But now they're 7.1 seconds behind Bonnie Evil here now. See, the two out in front must be absolutely smiling at this pattern that's going on right now as Thunder gets the move done on Ben Roberts as well. Way too much action to keep up with here on lap 8 of 36. Not even halfway through yet.
Yeah, and Absolute 11, after what some would say disappointing quality, he's doing well to keep up with these guys on those medium tyres. Obviously aided with the DRS and throws his wing damage.
Look where he is now though, Nat. He's on the back of his championship rival.
This race is definitely gonna increase in a few degrees centigrade. We're only on lap 9 out of 36. We've still got plenty of laps to go here, and the train that's going to lead us in towards turn 1. F1 lover gaining and Frozen, who's been...
Look at Absolute 11 here. Absolute around the outside of his championship rival. Cass breaks later, nearly takes out his teammate at turn 1. That could have been disastrous, but had to stay ahead of Absolute 11 there, and now F1 Lovers had a bad exit off that corner. Cass goes ahead of his teammate and will try to do his best to get past Froza. I think that looked a touch choreographed there between the two Alfa Romeos. I don't think F1 Lover made that move as hard as he could have.
Now a crucial car in between. Well, for Cash Daniel's point of view, he's now got a rear gunner in, you could say, for another ahead of Absolute 11, and now that Cash Daniel's going to get ahead of Froza as quick as he can, preferably before Absolute 11 gets ahead of F1 Lover. Absolute has got a bad run through turn 16, I think that is.
No clue. Wolsey picks up a 3-second time penalty there. That will not help him in his quest for 13th position. Lap 10 of 36. It's been an outstanding 10 laps so far. Cars coming into the pits. That's Froza and Cash Stengel into the pit lane.
That's going to leave F1 Lover vulnerable. He does have the DRS though, but here comes Absolute 11 to the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Doesn't look like F1 Lover can fight it back. He doesn't have Froza's slipstream anymore. And Absolute 11 moves his way up into the podium positions, but F1 Lover can't do much about it until it's turn 1.
And a crucial move there for the German. He will be going longer on that set of medium tyres. We'll wait and see if he goes for a 2-stop or a 1-stop. F1 Lover there not having the pace to get back past into turn 4. So Absolute will keep 3rd position at the moment, but has not made a pit stop yet and will not be making one for a while, one would have thought.
Yeah, Absolute 11's now got the kind of flexibility to go long on those mediums and go onto the hards later, or he could do a soft or a medium soft at the end of this race. It's going to be interesting to see which way he decides to go with the strategy, but I'm sure he'll be trying to look at Cash Daniel's times, seeing what he's doing. If he's got an engineer, I'm sure he'll be keeping him updated. But Shanks are also into the pits now.
So I think we're seeing the end of the first stint there for the soft tyre runners. Very comfortable first stint there from Shanks. They lost the lead on lap 1, but gained it back about 2 laps later. So not a bad start from the German. He'll drop back now to behind De Hebler, I think. Plenty of clear air though for him to push and get back past the McLaren and reassume the lead in this race.
It's incredible that the battles that we've been seeing throughout this race. Cash Daniel's down in 12th place and Shanks is up into 5th. These guys are running 1st and 3rd. And look how much time they've lost in that battle.
Look at the undercut that Cass has now got on F1 Lover. They were separated by tenths before the pit stops, now separated by over 2 seconds. The undercut really powerful here. Froza's trying to make a move on Ben Roberts after having that wing damage fix. He gets it done around the outside at turn 1. Making a great move there was the Dutchman. Shanks are getting past the Hebler as well in there, just leaving to get the tyres up to temperature.
Yeah, the undercut is quite powerful. Obviously, like I was saying at the start, tyre drop-off is quite significant around this track, so that's where the 1-stop doesn't work as well as the 2-stop, in my opinion. But we'll just have to wait and see what Absolute 11 does. Bonnie Evil does come into the pits at the end of this lap. That's Absolute 11 into the lead of the race, but obviously hasn't made a pit stop yet. I'm sure he'll pretty much enjoy a safety car this phase of the race.
I'm sure Shanks wouldn't enjoy a safety car right now. I'm going to just get a charge really, really quickly.
And in the meantime, I'll try and waffle about something. Is there any on-track battles? We've got F1 Lover gaining on the back of Nakula, who has made an early stop in this race for the medium tyres. He's done 6 laps now on those mediums. F1 Lover with the DRS. Nakula don't have any DRS. Guillotine into the pits, coming just behind these guys as well. And then here comes F1 level. He's gaining and gaining and gaining on the Haas with the overtake button. Is he close enough to send one? He dives one down the inside of the Haas. Maybe a bit too late off the brake on the brakes. Napoli goes off at turn 1, but concedes the position to F1 level, who moves himself up into 8th place and already 2.7 seconds behind his teammate Castango. So that's just how powerful the undercut is. And here comes Thunder getting the move done, and Napoli as well promotes himself up into 9th place. Napoli losing 2 positions in the space of 3 corners. By the sounds of the silence, it doesn't seem that
right. Apologies,
back.
I'm back. Hello. Sorry. Yes. Charger has been received. Phone will now have charge, and I'll still be able to look at the chat.
And just got the gap to leader up. Castango to Absolute 11 is 17.5 seconds, and coming down at a rate of knots. And I think the 2 stops are the way to go. To be fair, Absolute 11's really got to push for some more lap time if you think the ones that work.
Yes, certainly he needs to pick up the pace a little bit here. I don't know if you've been looking at the lap times over the last couple of laps, Natty, but yeah, absolutely really losing out to Shankster there as well now, only 2.4 seconds behind him. Bonnie for 8/10 behind Wolfie, who's also tried to go for a 1-stop here. Likewise, forward ahead, the Spaniel up there in 6th, out of position, as well as Cash Demo now goes to make a move on him. Doesn't have the TRS somehow though. He's going to try and make a move into turn 4, on board now with the Alfa Romeo. Just a bit too far behind still there.
So Ben Roberts making a move on NBC there.
Yes, went the wrong way. And if it were to finish like this, which I highly doubt, Absolute 11 would take the championship to the final round in Brazil. I feel like he's about to be overtaken by a very quick German. Actually, no, he isn't. He's going into the pits.
That's a 2-stop, surely.
Yeah, what tyres is this for?
This is quite early for a 1-stop, I think. I think that's 16, 17.
Those are mediums. It's a 2-stop for Absolute 11. Okay then, so things have just got interesting. Absolute commits to the same strategy here as Cash Dangle. He will need to overtake him on track now, but will be a long way behind him, Natty. And when I say a long way, I mean a long way, as in just ahead of Napula at the moment.
Oh, here comes Frozen, sorry, not Frozen, Napula, Absolute 11. Here comes Frozen on Absolute 11 on his cold dark tyres, and there's a lack of speed coming out of the pit lane. Goes up into 10th place, but there's quite a lot of cars in between himself and Cash Dangle.
Yeah, you can now add Froze that is the cars that he needs to overtake. I don't know if my mic is messing up, but
Yeah, I'm a little bit robotic there. I think it's okay.
Yeah, it fell on the floor when I sat back down, so I don't know if it's damaged.
Absolute 11 making a move on Froze up into the points paying position. Got Napula in front of him on 8-lap-old medium tyres, so has the tyre advantage, but crucially as well, Absolute 11 will be able to go to the softs later on in the race. Thunder as well getting the move on Spaniel up into 7th place.
Good move from the Irishman there. Things are... Well, I don't want to say they're quieting down, because there's still so many cars that are separated by less than a second here. As I feel like a move on Wolfie for 4th place on track is going to be done very soon by Cash Dangle. The current points leader makes a move to the inside and gets past the red door before we even get to turn 1. Absolute 11 Spaniel and Napula getting a bit dicey going into turn 1. Absolutely getting the move done though, and puts himself now up into 8th position. Just checking if my mic is actually broken.
That's all good.
Oh, that's a very nice touch. Well, you know what? I hope you spin in the first round of GT Sport next season, wherever it is. Absolute 11 doing the fastest middle of the first sector of anybody so far.
I don't know how the Mercedes and Frozen didn't collide into the Ferrari of Ben Roberts. It's still going to move to Ricky turns 4 and 5, and Ben Roberts able to stay ahead of the Mercedes. But we've got quite a big train here now, forming for what is 7th place almost, and you could say it kind of goes up to F1 level in Wolfie as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's still a very, very long train, but I think we've got a lot of cars in here who are out of position, out of sync on that strategy as the De Hebler goes into the pit lane. I think that's for a one-stop here, Natty. Surprisingly, no safe notes for a two-stop. Those are soft tyres.
Goofy as well staying out, so maybe he's committed for a one-stop. Currently running in 7th place.
And about to be overtaken by Nat. Going to take that 7th and, yeah, make it 8th.
It goes absolute 11 on Thunder as well to the inside. Red Bull versus AlphaTauri once again. That got close between Thunder's rear right and absolute 11's front left.
But
the same tyre that punctured in the USA, and the run and the traction from absolute 11 against the Red Bull. They're now going to go wheel to wheel from towards turn 4. Thunder on the inside. Can he hold position?
He's going to try it. Absolute gets the inside line crucially for the next corner. Battles his way past the Red Bull. It's still not over though. Thunder on the outside will get shown the barrier by Absolute Level. He has to back out of that move. Strong stuff there from the German. He now finds himself behind F1 Lover and his rival Cash Stengel.
And well, I was going to say Shankster picks up a 3-second time penalty, but looking at those interval
really
gaps,
matter, yeah.
it's 13 seconds. It's a Singapore-style performance from him today.
At this point, that really does not matter to Shankster, I'm sure.
You can see on the mini-map, Shankster's going into turn 1, and Bonnie was just forced to start-finish straight, and that's a massive lead already. And
took benefit of that undercut as well, with Bonnie coming in the lap after Shankster, despite maybe she should be coming in the lap before Shankster to get that gap down.
On absolute 11. So he's gaining.
Going to make the move into turn 1. Is he the Irishman on the German into turn 1? Wants payback for last lap, but Absolute 11 there plays the angles beautifully and keeps his AlphaTauri ahead of the Red Bull. Well, for the time being at least, because Thunder's got a second helping of DRS down the middle straight, going to pull to the inside line. He wants that payback though, locks up on the inside line, so no inter-team orders here between the two Red Bull sponsored teams, but Absolute is still there on the inside. Thunder goes wide, and Absolute gets the position done at the same corner that he did last lap.
That's, I'm sure Absolute 11 is kind of not going to be happy about that. He's cost himself about a second to F1 Lover. Crucially stays ahead of the Red Bull in his fight to keep this championship alive and to make it continue in towards Brazil for the final race of the season. But this train it's just getting increasingly bigger with more drivers joining the back of it.
Yeah, certainly. A lot of drivers now on different strategies joining the back of it as well here. So Spaniel actually went to the hard tyres in that sequence of pit stops. He'll be going to the end of the race here.
Becomes frozen now on Natfiller to the inside of the house, gets the move down in towards turn 1. Not quite that back on his 12 lap old mediums. I'm sure he'll be in the pit in the next couple of laps. JB Surreal down the inside of Tiger up into 10th place, puts himself in the points for the time being on those pressure source, but gets almost loses the rear on the exit, and that promotes Tiger back up into the points.
And Tiger will be happy with that, but J&B Cyril won't go back down the inside into turn 4. Tiger actually has end plate damage there on the front net of that McLaren in his battle for P10. Will be struggling with that, particularly through the middle sector there as well, the British driver. Yeah, back up towards the front though here, Natty. That gap between Absolute and F1 Lover not really coming down at the moment here.
Yeah, it's kind of being more consistent, those two kind of, I wouldn't say really working together because they're not really fighting, but it seems like F1 Lover and Cashdown have now found their rhythm in this race as Tiger and James Beast are all going wheel to wheel into the stadium section. Tiger able to defend his point position. But the train continues down the start for this track.
Big queue forming up now behind the damaged McLaren of Tiger Assassin. Now down the main straight, lap 19 of 36. As J&B a bit too far back, but De Hebler's not too far back. Has a look to the inside of Guillotine. J&B's having a look to the inside of Tiger. They're going to go 3 wide. Yes, they are. Guillotine sends it down the inside. Big contact, and that will be a fairly swift penalty, I think.
Yeah, wing damage for the Renault as well. It was quite a late lunge from the Williams, who's now under pressure from the McLaren of De Hebler, who couldn't quite get the move done on guillotine. There's almost rear ends the Williams as well.
Oh, he's going to go to the outside of the Williams now, getting a bit of a closer inspection of that rear end, but Guillotine's lost it and De Hebler is through.
Right, so Hebler now into the points paying position, so we've got a battle for 10th and a battle for 5th place, which Absolute currently leads that train.
And actually now, F1 Lover extending that gap back to Absolute 11, despite being on the older life of medium tires. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but there we go. Thunder now really challenging the back of Absolute going into turn 1. DRS will fly open for the Red Bull. Does Absolute even bother to defend this? The overspeed that Thunder will have will be immense, and the look to the inside line pulls out at the last possible moment there on the inside, but Absolute again just has enough grip around the outside to keep the position ahead of the Red Bull. Ben Roberts now looking interested on the back of Thunder. Thunder weaving around a little bit, don't want to be doing that too much, otherwise could end in a crash. He sent it on the Absolute 11, locks everything up, but manages to stay out of the side pod of the AlphaTauri and just manages to keep his front wing in the right car, and Frozen now around the out for the Ben Roberts. Very opportunistic driving there from the Dutchman and sweeps around the outside, but Thunder's gone past Absolute, or has he? There's still wheel. Absolute's off! Absolute's off, no damage though. I don't think there's any damage done to either car, but Absolute sideways, almost going into the wall there through the S's, and that may need to be looked at by the stewards.
I'm sure he saw the championship flash between his eyes there, but luckily he was able to keep it out of the barrier and continue his fight. He only lost 2 positions thankfully, and due to this massive long straight he's going to be able to regain the time back, as here comes Frozen now, battling on Thunder, weaving to break the slipstream. He decides to defend the inside. Here goes Frozen now to the left hand side, will be the outside for turn 1, but gets to move down already up in towards 5th place. Has absolutely no ERS though, so could be under pressure from Thunder going into his turn 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Thunder's situation is too much better there. Only 14% charge left for the Red Bull, and doesn't have DRS, but Ben Roberts does. But look to the inside, it's Ben Roberts, and down the inside he goes. That was a beautiful piece of driving there. There's contact now at turn 5. Ben Roberts trying to sneak his way round the outside line, but Thunder has the inside, blocks the line off for Ben, and now Absolute looking at the back of the Ferrari as well, but can't make a move stick into the medium speed corner there of turn 9.
And these guys need to be slightly careful. Absolute 11 as well. He needs to play this safe but also aggressive. He needs to make some more positions in this race. It will be on the faster soft compound tyre though at the end of the race. It depends what these guys decide to go on, because a soft, medium, soft is certainly possible. We're just looking up at the battle for the podium as well. Everyone that was close to the gap to his championship contending teammate. I wonder if there'll be team orders there at Alfa Romeo.
Oh well, 2 Alfa Romeos on track close together here in Mexico. When have we seen this before? Yeah, the first 14 laps. Hopefully it doesn't end in a crash. Or Ben Roberts, look, there is Absolute going 3 wide. There's contact down the main straight. Ben gets the move done on the inside. Absolute still there on the outside, on the inside now for turn 2. On the exit of turn 3, DRS open once again. F1 Lover's overtaking his teammate. It's the first stint all over again. Absolute gets past Ben Roberts into turn 4, or does he? Yes, he does. He'll be able to push the Ferrari off the track now and take the racing line, as he is entitled to do so. Absolute goes into 6th. Thunder hits Ben Roberts, but doesn't spin round like a Sebastian Vettel pendulum, and manages to keep his Red Bull pointing in the right place.
How no damage was done to his front wing is beyond me, but Ben Roberts picks up another 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help him at the end of this race, but the 2 Alfa Romeos not holding anything back. They're going for round 2 here at Mexico. Cashstone was fighting for a championship. F1 I was like, absolutely not, mate. I'm looking for a podium here.
Yeah, I think Frederick III needs to get onto the radio to these to tell them to calm down, because well, here comes Cass once again. I'm keeping the camera right here. Battle for 3rd. It's Alfa Romeo Civil War into turn 1. I know there's stuff happening in the background. We don't care about that though. Let's see if this ends in disaster for the Alfa Romeo team. Short shift up to 4th. Now does Cash Dangle. He's looking at the back of his team. And let's look behind us now from the perspective of F1 Lover. hasn't had a podium in a while here, Natty. Has he had a podium this season even?
I can quickly check now. F1 Lover has his last podium was in Silverstone where he got third place, so he's still hunting for another podium since, but does have a 3-second time penalty.
Oh, well, that's slightly dampened the mood. Thank you for that, F1 Lover. But if Cass picks up one, then it's all gravy once again. But actually, at the moment here, it looks like F1 Lover has got the edge on his teammate, pulling out that gap now to about 0.8 of a second. I was saying in the first stint how Cass's car looks really, really not nice to drive in that dirty air, and it seems to be proving true here once again. He's already dropped to 1.1 seconds now behind his teammate, so really struggling on that front end. F1 Lover up into the podium positions here, Natty.
Yeah, if he can extend that's what the time he's got a 3-second time penalty to try and work with. Cash Daniel doesn't have one as of yet, but yeah, the battle behind those two continue. After 11, Ben Roberts and Frozer all battling away, Thunder as well. But the gaps are starting to open up just a little bit. They're coming down at the end of turn 1 with the help of DRS, but this is where Absolute 11 will come into the race a bit more on those fresher mediums, having stayed out in his initial stint.
And don't forget, Absolute still has to run a different compounded tyre. Whether it's the softs, whether it's the hards, we'll have to wait and see. But, sorry, definitely has to make another pit stop in this race. Expect to see him in about 3 to 4 laps time, I think, for the German.
And just seeing if Shanks the were to come into the pits, just likely decides to stay out, so might try and take those mediums further in the race and put on a set of softs for the end. Currently winning by 18 seconds. Here comes Ben Roberts now, an absolute 11! Texan behind! Almost a crash as the Ferrari dives it down the inside of the Avatari. He gets up into 6th place. Absolute 11's going to try and fight back and send it down the inside into the stadium section of turn 14, I think it is. We've got all the S's from earlier. And Absolute 11 maintains 6th position, but has lost a lot of time to Frozen.
Yeah, this is really not what Absolute needs at this point in time. We'll be on those softs later on in the stint, but needs to be closer to Frozen and crucially to Cash Daniel here. I don't think Cash will win the championship here, but it just makes Absolute's job a lot harder when we get to Brazil next time out. Thunder and Ben Roberts here having a bit of a tete-a-tete as well on the exit of turn 3 towards 4 and 5. Thunder in the slipstream of the Ferrari in the battle for 2nd position, tries to have a look onto the inside but doesn't make anything of it at the moment. We'll go back up here to Shanksford for a minute, because what a race he has run. He's already coming out of the stadium section, the other lot just going through the middle sector. This has been an absolutely barnstorming performance from him once again. 19 seconds clear of the pack. Great pace from him, still doing 1 minute 18 seconds.
Yeah, so it turns out the races that Shankster wins, he completely bolts away from the rest of the field, similar to what happened in Singapore. But yeah, if the race were to finish like this, Absolute 11 in 6th place, Cash Daniel needs to win, and as it stands, that is looking highly unlikely.
So F1 Lover, being the Alfa Romeo in front, gets first dibs on pit stops. He comes in, Frozer goes into the pit lane as well. Absolute 11 will stay out. Same for Ben Roberts, same for Thunder. But as we saw earlier on in the stint, the undercut is so powerful here that you question, do you really want to be in another battle with 2 other cars and lose that extra time in the pit stops? F1 Lover going to a set of the soft tyres. Same for Frozer as well. They can do that now. They have used 2 different compounds of tyre in this race, but that really has not worked out for Absolute 11. He would have banked on having a tyre advantage going into the final stages of this race. Maybe he should have gone to the soft tyre in that middle stint for the German.
Yeah, I think he was assuming the others would go onto the mediums for this stint, and Shankster comes into the pits for his final stop in the race. It's soft tyres as well for the Mercedes.
Yeah, for the softs as well. So that looks like his pit crew going to work, getting their man back out onto the track. Might even come out ahead of Cash Daniel here. I think he will, you know.
He might even come out ahead of Bonnie Evil.
It's going to be close. He's not going to lead this lap then.
But
yeah, great lap from
this is, I would say this is kind of ruined Absolute 11's race. He comes into the pits. I think he's coming into the pits earlier than he would have liked. If he'd have stayed out, he'd have lost so much time will have fresher softs, but he's going to lose a lot of time to those who pitted earlier. F1 Love and Frozen with the undercut. They're already down the start finish straight. Absolute 11's just being served in the pit lane.
Yeah, that's really not worked for Absolute 11, staying up that extra lap. He's going to drop now behind Frozen, behind Napula, just for the fastest lap of the race there. And now Absolute with it all to do once again to keep his championship hopes alive, because the gap is about, what, Natty, 16 points at the moment?
Yeah, in the championship.
Yeah, so if it were to stay like this, Cat scoring 10 points, Absolute scoring 4, it goes to nearly a 20-point gap going into the final race. That is an incredibly difficult thing for Absolute to try and overcome in the final race of the season, and it would require, well, you know, for Cat to finish in about 7th or 8th place, and for him to win the race. He couldn't finish that, but he has to win the final race of the season. So this strategy will most likely deny Cass the chance at the championship today, but it makes it a hell of a lot easier for him in a week's time in Brazil. But speaking of easy moves, here comes Absolute with a tyre advantage, with a fuel advantage, but still cannot get past Napula.
Yeah, the soft tyres with fresh softs are definitely the tyre you want to be on Napula. With that other stratagem, he's got himself on the mediums in 6th place now. Will start to fall down.
Oh!
Like the likes of Ben Roberts.
F1 Lover has jumped Bonnie! F1 Lover has jumped Bonnie! And where has that come from? F1 Lover, with an amazing pace on that outlap, jumps Bonnie for 2nd position on the road. No idea where that's come from.
I did not see that coming, but Absolute 11 gets ahead of Napula as well.
Yeah.
Wow, as Kashankster continues to extend his lead.
Actually, if you didn't see, Napula, F1 Lover undercut Bonnie, just in case you didn't hear me say it a few times. But Bonnie there with the DRS wide open, we're trying to do something about that. Shanks is trying to take maximum points from today, fastest lap of the race for him as it stands. And that through the stadium section once again, what can Bonnie do? Can she use a different line to try and get past the F1 Lover? Will have a massive DRS and slipstream advantage going down the main straight, and has got a wealth of ERS to go along with that. So F1 Lover weaves to break the slipstream. Bonnie with the DRS, with the slipstream, with the superior ERS management, going to pull to the inside line. F1 Lover doesn't make it too hard for her to go past, or does he? There's contact into turn 1. No damage done to either car there though, as the F1 Lover manages to hang on to 3rd position.
Yeah, that puts Bonnie up into 2nd place. Ben Roberts and Napula going wheel to wheel, and Ben Roberts getting the move done up into 7th place, and Napula on those medium tyres is going to start to struggle in the final 7 laps of the race. And I'm going to say in about 3 or 4 laps maybe it's going to be a Red Bull and a McLaren right on the rear of his gearbox.
Yeah, I would say that would be an accurate assumption here, and Natty, we haven't had to use it much this season, but think of a comeback, ladies and gentlemen.
Think about what you're going to do here.
Think you've hit a bit of a lull here, ladies and gentlemen. It's back. He's going to get targeted.
If Shamsa doesn't win this now, I'm going to leave.
Well, there we go. It's a bit of a lull here. Thunder closing on to the back of Napula. 9 tenths up on his personal best lap time is Thunder. Through the stadium section. No yellow flags as of yet, but we'll keep an eye out for that. John, actually, Natty, we'll address this now. Actually, I've been thinking about this for about the last 15 laps. The last time someone led this race by this margin, as Thunder looking to make a move on Napula into turn 1, going to be quite easy for him. Anyway, oh no, not going to be easy for him, because here comes Napula on the inside in turn 2. He's still making a fight of this, but Thunder with a superior grip gets past. Alright, so I don't really like talking about this, but the last time someone in the Premier Series led the race by about 20 odd seconds and was coming up to lap some lapped cars, they didn't win the race. Because, yeah, reasons. You wanted the answer to that question, then go watch the stream from 2 seasons ago. But all on the YouTube, by the way. Go check that out, Gavra Racing on YouTube. Great content over there. Tiger does some track guides that no one watches. Joking. So yeah, no one watches them. So go give him some love because he works hard on them. And he does very well.
Yeah, not good of a chance though. We got ghosted cars on after traffic issues with the with people disconnecting.
Yeah, you just reminded me of that now.
But yeah, I don't think,
doesn't it?
don't think we're going to get any backmarker bombings tonight.
Oh well. Well, looks like the lull may not have worked here.
Well, I mean, if I remember correctly, the last time you used the word lull, there was a safety car.
There was a safety car pretty imminently. Let's go back down here to battle towards the back of the field. The battle of the wooden spoon, as it were. GMB Surreal versus Tiger Assassin versus Wolfie in the battle for 12th place. Tiger with that DRS and a mended front wing, looking to challenge the Renault into turn 1. A little bit too far behind on this occasion. F1 Lover as well, keeping it to just under a second there between himself and Bonnie as they make their way now through the final sector. DRS open once again though for the McLaren, making a move to the inside is Tiger into turn 4. On the inside they both lock up, that will turn to the outside line for turn 5, but Tiger keeps around the outside. Very nice and neat move there from the Englishman. I'm going back up here to the battle for third though, because F1 Lover is gaining all the time on Bonnie down this main straight into turn 1, a bit too far behind, or is he? A bit too far behind for the Anglo-Ghanaian, trying to get past his fellow, well, sort of fellow English person down the middle straight now. Second DRS zone of 3 around this track. Can F1 make a move into turn 4? No, he cannot on this occasion.
Yeah, I think the battle for second is currently the closest battle on track. We do have Wolfie there on the back of JMB Surreal going down the start-finish straight. This could be a pretty simple and easy move for the Red Bull with the DRS and the overtake. The Renault doesn't defend into the inside, and here comes the Red Bull. Starting to match the pace of the Renault now, but it's going to have the inside line, late on the brakes, and gets the move done up into 13th place.
Nice and neatly done by Wolfie. I almost called him Jimmy there. Mustn't do that on the stream, although I just did it, so yeah. Fun number. Still 5/10 of a second behind Bonnie. Through the final corner now. A bit closer on this. That might be able to have a run into turn 1. Makes so much sense, even rhymes. DRS open now for the Alfa Romeo. 3 laps left to go in this race. What can F1 do into turn 1? Still a bit too far behind. Keeps running out of that sweet ERS energy down the main straight. He's not saved enough of it earlier on in the race, but that could be a warning there for the Alfa Romeo as he closes onto the back of the AlphaTauri once again into turn 4. We're going to look to the inside line. It's F1 Lover, but we all know how late Bonnie can be on the brakes, and she is later on them than F1 Lover and keeps the position.
Yeah, it would be amazing if history were to repeat itself. Shanks are gaining on some blue flag cars through the stadium section. I can't remember where I got that memory from.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, Thunder and Ben Roberts going wheel to wheel. This is getting personal now. This battle, they're both on 9 seconds worth of time penalties, and they're going wheel to wheel into the X's, and Thunder got the move done up into P7. Great stuff there from these two on lap 33 for them of 36. But Ben Roberts having a look back now at the Red Bull. It's Red Bull versus Ferrari into the stadium section. Ben Roberts gets a bit of oversteer there on the exit, controls it very nicely there though, and keeps his car behind the Red Bull. They're going to go down the main straight onto lap 34 for these guys. Thunder goes very defensive very early on, weaves now to break the slipstream, and now Ben with the DRS. Thunder won't make it too hard for Maurice. He's going to squeeze him. That was a very, very late move from Thunder on the edge. Ben swoops back to the racing line and takes 7th position away once again from the Irishman.
Two GT Sport commentators battling it out for 7th place in the dying embers of this race. And it's the Ferrari that's able to come out on top this time around. but I'm sure they're going to have another go at it on the next lap as well. F1 Lover slowly gaining on Bon Evil, but Bonnie's just got that slightly bit more ERS to play with down the straights to keep the AlphaTauri ahead.
Yeah, just a quick update on penalties. So Shankster with 3, Bonnie with 6, F1 Lover with 6, then Cass, Frozen, Absolute all on 3, Ben and Thunder have 9, with Napula on 0. So Heather's got 15. That could be interesting come the end of this race. And Dutchy, if you're wondering why I showed them, it's because I can. So yeah. 7/10 of a second between Bonnie and F1 Lover once again down the main straight. Will he try and make a move into turn 1 a bit too far back? Once again, doesn't have that ERS deployment that the AlphaTauri does at this stage in the race. He's running out of laps, running out of corners now to really complete this move on his championship rival. I don't know what this means for the constructors here, Natty, but I think that Alfa Romeo wouldn't take it today.
Yeah, I've just worked it out, and it will go on to the next track in Brazil. The constructors and the drivers of this race, Castanho, won't be winning it today unless there's a massive mistake from the top 3. But it doesn't seem like any of them are going to make any form of mistake. Shankster starting his final lap, the final lap of the race, and what an incredible drive it's been from the German singer.
Yeah, once again, you know, fell to 3rd position off the start, got the places back beautifully, and has led by example ever since. Great driver from him today. An entire straight ahead of the next car. 26 seconds ahead of the next car, to be precise. Yellows in sector 2. Please tell me that's not Shankster.
This is something getting out of the way.
Okay. I was about to say I would not be able to live with myself, although F1 Lover will not be able to live with himself if he doesn't get past Bonnie on this final lap, or have probably 2 more chances to get past the AlphaTauri on this lap, going into the into the second DRS straight, a bit too far away. But Shankster's really coming towards the end of the lap here, Natty. It's been a great drive from him. Goes through the stadium section for the last time this season in Mexico. Only 2 corners to go between Shankster and his 2nd win of the season, a record 8th win in the Premier Series. Shankster across the line and takes another win in the Premier Series. He is the winner today of the Mexican Grand Prix. The battle for 2nd still rages on though, but F1 Lover has lost some time in the middle section. You would think he's a bit too far away now into the final few corners here. F1 Lover, but still behind the AlphaTauri of Bon Evil. The confetti is up everywhere. Can he make a move into the final corner? Way too far away, you would think. And now through the final couple of corners, Bonnie ahead of F1 Lover for the podium. It'll be F1 Lover's first podium since Silverstone. Well done to him. For Castanho, it's not the podium and it's not the championship today. Froza will be 5th, absolute 11. He's got some work to do for next week. He will cross the line in 6th, but the championship will go to the wire in Brazil. Ben Roberts ahead of Thunder in 8th. That turns into his Nakula gets P7 on penalties. De Hebler finishes in the points on his Premier Series debut. He can be happy with that. Guillotine will cross the line just outside the points in 11th, barring any dramatic penalties. Indeed he does. Tiger will be 12th and Wolfie will round out the cars that finished on the lead lap. But a decent race there for the Premier Series. A dominant performance from Shankster. And, well, the championship goes to the wire, Natty.
Yeah, definitely one race to go. And both championships still not wrapped up here in the Premier Series. Absolute 11 was actually slightly a little bit lucky to get 6th place in the end there. He slowed down across the line and only finished a 10th ahead of Napula, who had no penalties there. So just about kept that 6th position. But besides that, a great win, a great race from Shankster there, lifting up the 1st place trophy for what I think is the 2nd time this season. And both of those wins have been absolutely commanding ones.
Yeah, certainly, and both coming in the last 3 races there for Shankster. Looking at on great form, going to the final few races of this season then, is the German looking to bounce back after that rather torrid Super League season last season. It takes his second win of the season, new record for most wins in the Premier Series for Shankster, bring his tally up to 8 then. So your final finishes here in Mexico: Shankster takes the win, Bonivel second, and F1 Lover rounding out the top 3 with his first podium since Silverstone. Castengel 4th, Frozer 5th, Absolute 11 in 6th, Nakula in 7th, Ben Roberts 8th, Thunder Knight and De Hedler, the last of the points finishers. Guillotine in 11th, Wolfie in 12th, Tiger Assassin 13th, JMB Surreal 14th, Spanel 15th, and GSY Bates 16th. All cars finishing the race, so that's not too bad there. Only 3 cars finishing a lap down. Well, yeah, that's going to be it from the Autodromo de Hermanos Rodriguez here in Mexico City. Join us next week for the championship decider, Castengel versus Absolute 11. Absolute with a lot of work to do in that final race of the season for the Premier Series to take home the championship. So, decent race. We'll get some instant race reaction from you, Natty.
Yeah, I mean, the start was definitely active. It was like an active volcano at the start. It was erupting every lap, every corner with the midfield battles. But, yeah, I think after lap 5 was when the time that Shankster got himself up to the lead. He was able to control the race after that, just extending his lead, everyone battling behind him. He was able to just keep his focus and keep pushing for the lead. But I'd say not the best race for Absolute 11, but a good one. He went from 11th to 6th place in the end. Could have hoped for maybe a little bit better, but he done a good job to get himself up into the higher end of the points. But his championship rival finishing in 4th is going to cost him in the championship, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see who comes out on top next week in Brazil, where the Constructors' Championship is also available to be wrapped up by Alfa Romeo or AlphaTauri.
So make sure to tune in next week, same day, same time, but this time from Brazil. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow as well. Tiger and I think Dutchy, unless he can actually be bothered, will be taking you through all of the Super League action tomorrow. On Sunday, weekend league action. No GT Sport anymore. That season is over. Tear face. No Assessor course. It's a break week for them. So only 3 more races this week for you Gavra racing junkies there. Yeah, that's going to be it from me, from Natty. It's adios from Mexico, and we'll see you next week for the championship decider. Big thank you to everybody for tuning in, and yeah, we'll see you next week. Had to like one-up me on the Spanish there at the end, didn't you?